Have you ever had a dream so big that it made people around you uncomfortable? Like, why is this one always dreaming so big? Only you, this big vision. Only you, this big one. Only you, God told you this. Only you got this. Anyways, that's the story we're about to devour today. Hi guys, welcome to Fun Bible Stories with JAYDORA. And today on FBS, we'll be talking about the story of Joseph. Yeah. So of course, this is the episode 1 of Joseph's story. So let's go. Joseph was a 17-year-old teenager. Just like many young people today, he was full of vision, innocence, and maybe a little bit of confidence, a little more. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, but something about him stood out. He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the oldest, but he was favored, deeply loved by his father. So much that Jacob gave him something no one else had. Hey, a beautiful coat of many colors. How many of you remember that song? Coat of many colors that my mama made for me. Yeah, Jacob made a coat of many colors for his son Joseph. It was a symbol. Joseph was chosen, and unfortunately he made his older brothers furious and jealous. They saw that their father loved Joseph more than them. Like, the favoritism stood out. It cut so deep they became jealous of him. But oh well, they are his brothers. I'm sure he didn't even notice. He just went about his life. One morning, Joseph woke up with excitement and gathered all his brothers to tell them about the dream that he had. I had a dream. Joseph the dreamer. So he was so excited. Innocently, he was just telling his brothers, we were out binding sheaves in the field, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, and all of your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to mine. Ha! The brothers were stunned and furious. They were like, hello sir, do you really think that one day you will rule over us? You think you're better than us? What kind of dream is this one? Well, he was just telling them the dream that he had, though. I'm sure he didn't mean any harm, because you know how you just have a dream and you wake up and you're just telling everybody around you. But it didn't end there. Joseph had another dream. This time it wasn't the sheaves, it was the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing to him. Even his father rebuked him this time, saying, do you think me and your mother will bow down and worship you? Because I don't understand this kind of dream. But the Bible said one thing. That dream stayed in the heart of Jacob. He kept it somewhere. Even if he rebuked him, like, I don't understand this dream, me and your mother too will join and worship you. But he kept it in his heart. You get. Time passed, and one day Jacob sent Joseph to go and check on his brothers who were taking care of the flocks at Shechem. They went to Shechem to take care of their father's flock. And then the father called Joseph, please go to Shechem and check on your brothers, see if they are okay and if the flock is doing all right. And then off he went. As soon as he got there, his brothers did not see their brother who came to check up on them. They were seeing a threat. They were seeing, oh, Joseph the dreamer. And they just decided in their heart, here comes the traitor. Let us kill him and pretend that he was killed by wild animals. So they thought to themselves, let us kill him and throw him into a pit. But Reuben spoke up. Reuben was the oldest. He was like, no, let's not kill him. Let's just throw him into a dry pit instead. I'm sure he had plans of rescuing him later, right? So they were like, okay, we can just throw him into the pit. So that's how they stripped Joseph of his coat of many colors and threw him inside the dry pit. He was there crying out for help and begging while they sat down to eat. Somebody's brothers. That was so mean. Well, when they were eating, a caravan of traders were passing by, and Judah had another idea. He was like, why kill him when we can actually sell him to make money? And just like that, that's how the brothers decided to sell Joseph. And Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver by his own brothers. They handed him over to the strangers who carried him away to Egypt, a foreign land, as a slave without family or freedom. He didn't just end there. When you start an evil, you have to make it to be very smooth. Now, the brothers needed to cover their track, right? They killed a goat, took Joseph's coat and dipped it in the blood of the goat and took it home to their father. Took it and told him, look what we found. Is this your son's coat? And Jacob wept bitterly. He thought to himself that a wild animal must have killed Joseph in the wilderness. So guys, this is where we're going to end FBS for today. We'll be sure to continue this story in the next episode. So stay tuned, and I hope you've learned a thing or two from this story. I'll be telling you mine while I wait in the comments. So yeah, while I was telling this story, something kept ringing in my heart. I don't think favoritism should be a thing in parenting. I don't think a parent should love a particular child more than another child. I think you should just love all your children equally, because things like that breed envy, siblings rivalry, when they just know that this one is a favorite and me, I'm just here. I mean, God gave you all the children. Well, the Bible said in that Genesis 37 that Jacob loved Joseph because Joseph was given to him at old age. It makes sense, because you know how some parents are so attached to their last born. That shouldn't be a thing. You should love all your children equally. Well, Joseph was betrayed and sold by his brothers, but that is not the end. In the next episode, we'll be following him to Egypt to see how his stay turned out in Egypt. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep reading your Bible and pray every day. Bye.